All right, let's talk about it. And yes, I got up out of my chair to sit back down to talk about Dragon Ball Daima. I know I literally just hit that button right here and start talking, but for dramatic effect, I'm gonna get up and sit down so we can start the video. Dragon Ball Daima, otherwise known as Dragon Ball Magic. We have a lot to discuss. First and foremost, let me know your thoughts down below before the reveal and after the reveal, and do you rock with it, do you not rock with it? Just kind of let me know your thoughts as a community, what you think about the actual reveal now that we saw it. So a couple weeks ago, for context, it officially leaked that Dragon Ball Magic was in the work, which is what was called at the time, and they actually revealed at the panel this morning that they changed the name recently to Dragon Ball Daima. So I guarantee you they saw it leak and they were like, hey, let's actually just switch it up right now and change the name. And I guarantee you Toriyama was like looking around his room like, Daima, we're calling it that, because I can see him doing that. Beside the point though, I don't really care about the name. You can call it Dragon Ball Ball Sack for all I care. If it's entertaining, we will watch. We will watch. Now, initially, when I heard that they were basically turning Goku into a kid again and we're getting Dragon Ball GT 2.0, I was not really that happy, but I wasn't going to immediately jump in and be like, this is going to be hot ass. I want to give stuff a fair chance before I really jump into it. And it's funny because this past week, they announced a big update for Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and I immediately jumped the gun thinking that the new mode is going to be hot ass. And actually, I enjoyed it a lot. Me and Dion just got done recording, which is why I'm so late, dropping my thoughts on this. That video will be up tomorrow. But check it out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to record, and I see a bright future in that mode, which I know we can't say about Xenoverse doing for their updates. So that's crazy. But anyways, so leading up into it, I did not care about the idea of a new series of Dragon Ball where Goku becomes a kid again. Because frankly, in GT, that was my least favorite part. I know why they did it, but I hated the fact that Goku would go Super Saiyan 4, become an adult, and then go back to being a kid. It didn't make any sense to me. Granted, I know I'm trying to make sense out of an anime, a Japanese cartoon that's not supposed to make sense. It just always just bothered me too much to the point that's what kept GT out of my favorites when it comes down to anything Dragon Ball related. In fact, the only thing I can say with confidence that I liked about GT was Super Saiyan 4, including Gogeta and stuff like that. But outside that, everything in GT to me was basically hot ass. It was fun for the ride, but definitely forgettable. So when I hear that we're going back to that again, I'm just like, cool. And the initial leaks were also hot ass, because the initial leaks were talking about how it's gonna be Goku following the adventures of Supreme Kai as they try to like figure out why they're kids or something. Whatever the leak was, I didn't like it. But again, I was gonna wait for a reveal and see what my initial thoughts are, and here we are. And I'm gonna tell you right now, after watching it today, granted we had to watch it through someone's camera because they kept, censoring it because it's a New York Comic Con exclusive or whatever. I was pretty impressed. Animation looks great. And I don't know why I didn't think about this, but like, everybody's becoming a kid, which is kind of dope. And it's also funny at the same time because we just got, teenager Goten and Trunks. So we have a chance to see like adult Goten and stuff like that in the actual series officially, and they're becoming kids again. So they're literally babies right now. So yeah, according to the trailer, based on what we saw, everyone's becoming a kid, from Hercule to Roshi to Goku and Vegeta. I'll be honest, once I saw Vegeta became a kid too, I'm like, okay, this could be fun. And the only question I have is what kind of continuity we're talking about. Is this all taking place after the manga stuff? Is it a different continuity? Is it a manga canon and anime canon? What's happening? All we know is Toriyama's heavily involved. And I will say this, they use this language a lot. I noticed this ever since Dragon Ball came back, but if you don't say that Toriyama's involved, we tend to, as fans, not care about it as much. So I feel like they kind of have to say that. Because I mean, Toriyama's been involved with every project for like the last decade, but to some extent. And the joke we always say is that he comes up with ideas on a napkin and then hands it to like Toyotaro or to Shueisha and Toei, and then they do something with it. But heavily involved could also mean that he's like actually heavily involved. And honestly, if Toriyama's that balls deep in the actual series, I trust him. Toriyama doesn't really miss that much. His goal with the series is always to have something simple and fun and enjoyable, give us lovable characters, and it works. It works really, really well. That's why Dragon Ball has been so successful for the last 30+ years. And if he keeps doing what he's been doing, I'm gonna give it a shot. And honestly, like I said, based on the animations that we saw, it looks like it's going to have a bright future. Like I said, my only concern is, what does it mean for the series? I said this in Lotus's video, which might be up by the time you actually see this, but I mentioned how, is this like a way to reset Dragon Ball? Let's be real. Dragon Ball has got to the point where every character is so powerful and broken, and it's like, what's next? What if they are resetting Dragon Ball to the point where everyone's becoming like weaker, and then they have to like, I don't know, balance it out more, The joke that we was making, like Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, is Yu-Gi-Oh so broken it needs a full reset. And they did that by introducing the new series in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is called Rush Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball, wow, Yu-Gi-Oh Rush, or whatever it's called. and introduces the Rush Duel mechanic, and it completely resets a brand new game, still Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's a way to, like, I guess, restore balance to the game and I guess get people back into it. That makes sense. I wonder if this is the same way they're doing Dragon Ball, so they're resetting everybody as kids, because in the trailer what I see a lot was Goku with the power pole. Goku doesn't need a power pole anymore. He hasn't needed that in a long time. Granted, I love it because, you know, it's nostalgic to me, growing up with, you know, the Dragon Ball era and things like that. So it might be just for the nostalgic factor, but it also could be maybe that their powers are sealed or something, and now we have the story of the Dragon Ball characters without the powers that they developed and stuff like that. So there's a lot of potential with the series. That's why I'm just kind of like, you know what? Until I see it, I'm not going to heavily judge it and jump on like a I hate this bandwagon. I like to consume everything first. So that's just how I stand with it. But I'll be honest though, I'm a Dragon Ball fan in the end of the day. I mean, look at my wall. You're gonna see a lot of Dragon Ball stuff. I got the whole, where is it? Back here, right behind me, I got the whole manga set. I got the Dragon Ball games on my wall. I grew up, I have a Dragon Ball channel. I am going to consume the series when it comes out. I don't care, you know, if people are against it or not. I am going to watch that. Now, of course, if the series airs and it's hot ass after a couple weeks, maybe I might forget about it, but it's gonna be fun for what it is, you know? Like, I don't consume all Dragon Ball, you know? The joke that me, Dado, and Dion have right now is we think Dragon Ball Heroes is hot ass. It's actually funny because Dado literally tweeted, it's on the screen, he was like, we almost got a dual Gotex, and someone was like, we got that in Dragon Ball Heroes 10 years ago, and Dado says, Dragon Ball Heroes could have banged my mom, and I wouldn't even know it, because nobody cares about Heroes, except for like the 7 people that watch it across the world, you know? I feel like Dragon Ball Heroes right now has been more relevant than ever, because we're so thirsty for more Dragon Ball content, so people are like, just trying to find like their fix for the series, you know? Speaking of which, I'm tired of seeing that same clip of Hearts tweeted on Twitter once every 3 months, like, look at the animation that you're missing on Heroes. No, we're not. No, we're not. That happened once. And on top of that, wasn't it like choreographed from the actual Goku Black fight in the actual Super series to begin with just the Hearts character slapped over it? That's a point. Back to Daima. I think Daima has potential. And something that's also exciting to me is I'm seeing a renaissance of Dragon Ball once again. I said this like so many times. If you've been around since day one, you heard me say the phrase Dragon Ball Renaissance maybe at least 3 or 4 times, you know? And every time I say that, we always get a plethora of like Dragon Ball content. And I noticed that they're trying to release the series starting in the fall, and we also get another battle hour this time in January. And they also mentioned games. Like, they're ready to go all in on this Dragon Ball Daima stuff, as well as probably everything super related and any kind of Dragon Ball content they can sell merch-wise. So we're about to enter a new realm in Renaissance of Dragon Ball where we're going to get so much content, and I'm here for it. You know, whether or not you like the series or the idea of it, as a Dragon Ball fan, you gotta be excited and happy, because this just means we're gonna get more content, merch, and stuff like that, more games. And you know, I made a tweet about this actually as I sat down to record this. But the big question a lot of us are asking is like, where are games like specifically Xenoverse 3? Where's the Fighters update? And where's the new Tenkaichi news? You know, they teased Tenkaichi last year, and then that's it, radio silence. And I think the reason why is because they want to let us know that this is happening, and they probably thought at some point it was going to leak. And speaking of which, we are going to get another battle hour this January. I have a theory that if they show an actual trailer for Tenkaichi, they show an actual trailer, we can probably see that game as early as fall 2024 to coincide the release of Daima. If not, maybe Q1 2025. If we get nothing between now and then, we're probably not going to get that game at least in 2026. The way their release schedule usually works is they'll show an actual trailer, not a 10-second teaser like they showed us last year. They'll drop an actual trailer, and then usually like 6 to 8 months after that is when they drop a game. And what I know with Bandai, they always drop their big major anime game either Q3, which fall 2024, or Q1, which is usually around like the February, January area, which is when we've been getting stuff like Kakarot, I believe Fighters, and I think Xenoverse actually came around the fall era in 2016 and 2015. So yeah, and then as far as everything else, I'm sure we're going to get rollback eventually for Fighters. You know, Xenoverse 3 is completely out of the picture at this point because they are focused so much on Xenoverse 2. And with the update that I saw this morning, I'm impressed. I thought they were just going to half-ass this update just to keep the players happy, but it seems like that they're actually adding new stuff and potentially a lot of good content in the future. You know, the AI stuff that I saw on Dion's Twitter and me experiencing it in that actual mode was insane. This is as close as we'll get as a potential Xenoverse 3 is going to be called Xenoverse 2. So, I don't know. I'm excited about this. Dragon Ball right now is about to have another massive renaissance, and we're going to get so much fun content out of it. Whether or not you enjoy the Xenoverse aspect or the Daima aspect, or fighters, or Tenkaichi. There's gonna be something for all of us, which is beautiful. Except for the 7 people who play Breakers. If you play Breakers, you deserve better. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so let me know your thoughts. Like I said, I'm excited. I want to see what they're gonna do with it when we actually get the official reveal and release in the fall. But I am on the train. I'm on the train for now, and I'm excited to see where this is gonna go. So let me know your thoughts and everything down below, and what you personally want to see, what you're not excited about, and let's just have a fun discussion like we always do. And of course, if you enjoyed this discussion video, hit a thumbs up on this video as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.